It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview Mike Katos, who owns Fan Experience TV. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Brandon. Thank you very much for having me on.
Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to start your own sports talk show?
Yeah, so obviously in the process of building, the main brand, playing the field, we spoke about before. We through COVID and the pandemic, we were just, everyone was isolated, and I see everyone left and right coming out with podcasts, and what better way to get in touch and talk to the people in the sports fan community than with a podcast? So I decided to really just start a show. Really little to no knowledge of how to run a podcast, and I just went for it, and it's been a blast. We're rolling on to almost closing out our first 100 episodes within the next month or two, and we're right now episode 85 coming up just this week. So it was really just a matter of talking to sports fans. That was the main purpose, and finding out what made everyone tick and their fan experiences and the impact that the sports has played on their life.
How did you know that you wanted to come up with the name of your sports talk show, Fan Experience TV?
Yeah, so I mean, it's really about that. That's what sports is all about, right? It's about the fan experience, and that's what separates certain sports from other sports. The more engaging you can get the fans, the more the fans can keep coming back, and the more they love the game, and the more they just they give their all. It's because of the fan experience they get in and day out, and that's why people decide to live that sports fan lifestyle. When it comes to Sundays, people are there and they're talking, they're watching football every Sunday.
How did you know that you wanted to interview people in sports and sports fans?
Sorry, I was muted for a second. Yeah, so really, I mean, that was pretty much the whole concept of the show. We wanted to talk to the sports fans, and at the same time, we also talk sports ourselves. Me and my co-host talk sports, and then we bring on how things have unfolded in their life, because of being a sports fan. Whether it's something that they've learned online, working as part of a team, or relationships they formed personally, professionally, or romantically. Just really, everyone has a story to tell, and we just want to hear those stories from the people that are, just like us, sports fans.
Who are some of the guests that you have had on your podcast?
Yeah, so we've had run-of-the-mill sports fans. We've had podcasters such as yourself. We've had professional sports broadcasters that have done play-by-plays for teams, sports agents, and athletes themselves. So it's been a very broad set of guests, and every single guest has been a blast to work with and to speak to, and just forming relationships with people on pretty much every side of the tracks. It's been a blast.
How do you go about getting some of the people that you've had on your show?
So in the process of trying to build my brand for playing the field, I used a lot of LinkedIn. That was my social media choice, because of the professional networking. So a lot of our guests have come from there, but we've also delved into Instagram a lot as well, and direct message a lot of different people and whatever athletes, comedians, the a whole bunch of different people. And but LinkedIn, I would say, accounted for probably 75% of the guests that we've booked.
What was it like to do a crossover with Matt Wolf?
Yeah, no, I mean Matt was on the show last year. He was in season 1 very early on, and then we've been talking about the fact that he started his own show a few months ago called The Wolf Den, and we went on. I've been keeping tabs and watching his show, and we've been talking about trying to find a day, and we've finally found a day where we just me and Rick, my co-host, we appeared on The Wolf Den, and then as soon as that wrapped up, we went and jumped right into fan experience TV, and we just kept the conversation going, and just talked a lot more about what he's got going on and what we have going on, and just sports in general.
Of course, when you work with a co-host, how hard is it sometimes to coordinate dates and time?
Yeah, so we have the dates and times is right now where we do Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's a live show. So that really we tried to get that off and planned out before we even started this whole thing. But of course, things happen, and one of us can't do it one night, and sometimes we do take a couple of episodes off here and there. But for the most part, we've been pretty consistent in getting that Tuesday and Thursday in pretty religiously.
Of course, what have you seen with doing live shows?
Yeah, I mean, so it's funny, like I was myself, I consider myself an introvert. I never was really much of a public speaker or anything like that. This time, 18 months ago, if you told me I was going to guest on a podcast, yet let alone start a podcast, I would have called you crazy. And then not only did I start a podcast, I just bypassed the whole audio version of it all, and I went to a video version and a live video version. So it was definitely way out of my comfort zone. And, with the exception of our guest, who was amazing in episode 1, I could definitely see, why I was hesitant for a second, but just keep doing it over and over and over, and just keep getting better each time. And it's been a blast, and and hearing the stories, and you're just talking to amazing people have just made it that much better. And I don't regret the decision of going for it for a second.
With being a live show, what platform do you use? Do you use StreamYard?
Yeah, we use StreamYard, and we right now we're streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
Of course, with using StreamYard, have you seen that with having it used to all platforms, you don't have to, after the show, go in and manually put it in? It's already there.
Yeah. It all stays there. Obviously, you always have that ability to go in there to YouTube or whatever and put in an edited version. But we keep the live version right on there. So it's just recorded, and it persists right on the platform.
What are some of your future plans when it comes to the Fan Experience TV?
So we want to go kick it on the road. We got to go to tailgates. We want to do it at games. Really just get to where a lot of fans congregate, and that was something that was not an option last year, and now we're slowly getting back into that into that way of life where we can go to games again. So definitely have some events at games, or just at even at sports bars or whatnot, and we want to just talk to the fans and more of the fans. That's really the ultimate goal.
What is something that you learned now that you did not know before you started Fan Experience TV?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how far passion can take you. You know, if you really want to do something and you're passionate about it, you're gonna stop at nothing to get there. And like I said, I was an introvert, and now all of a sudden, I'm on a live TV show 2 days a week, and I don't even remember that side of me that happened before, of who I was before all of this happened. So just learning myself and more clarity in what I am capable of doing, that's probably the best way to answer that question.
What advice would you give somebody looking to start their own sports TV show?
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche, but obviously Nike says it perfect. Just do it, and it's just really it's the only advice that you can do. You just have to, the first step in getting anywhere, or the first step in climbing a mountain is to take that that first step. You have to start going up. If you don't start going up, then you're never going to get to the top. So whatever your goal is, you have to start walking towards it. You have to start making efforts to go towards that. And that's really it. I mean, you just gotta step out of that side of fear that's holding you back from whatever it is that you want to get done.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find the Fan Experience TV on social media and podcast platforms?
Yep. So we have fanexperience.live. That goes to our website. It has a the whole list of all the shows, and you can play them right from there. We also have the podcast version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's under Fan Experience TV. It's also on Google Podcasts, Amazon, Podchaser. As far as the live video versions, you go to YouTube, subscribe to us at Fan Experience TV, Facebook, and then LinkedIn. You could find me at Michael Katos on LinkedIn, and I stream live over there as well. Yeah, I mean, that's and then you also have Instagram, Fan Experience Pod, at Fan Experience Pod, and then at Twitter at The Fans Pod.
Thank you again, Michael Cato, for your interview, and best of luck in your future with Fan Experience TV.
Thank you very much, Brandon.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Michael Cato, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you very much.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.